I never thought I'd post here, but here I am. Backstory. Husband, 38 male, travels often for work, and I'm 34 female, usually left home alone, sometimes for weeks. We don't have any kids, so I'm usually all by myself. I know this isn't his fault, as his job is very well paying and traveling is necessary, but it has been putting a strain on our relationship for a couple of years now. I'm not blaming him. He's always been a hardworking man, and I know he's been doing the best to provide for us. Last year, I began to get closer with a male friend of mine. He would come over some nights to keep me company since it gave me creeps sleeping alone in our rather big house. It was never sexual in the beginning. He would sleep in the spare bedroom and we would spend most of the time watching movies and chatting, nothing more. My husband was completely unaware of this. We're not close with neighbors, and I opposed to getting a doorbell camera when he suggested it. In hindsight, I realize I have been setting myself up for an affair subconsciously. It's really unnerving to realize that about yourself. Am I such a vicious, broken person? One day this friend made a move on me. It took me by surprise since I hadn't known that he had any feelings for me, but I didn't stop him. He's a very good-looking man, and I had been feeling neglected by my husband. I welcomed the physical attention. I wish more than anything that I hadn't done that. It was very wrong, but it was the choice I made at the time, and I can't undo the past. We began an affair, and I even considered him to be my boyfriend. I managed to keep it hidden until my husband came home from a work trip and found us in bed together. We were just sleeping, but I was topless and he was shirtless, so there was no denying what was going on. The fallout was very bad, as you'd have guessed. We fought for days and he threatened to throw me out of the house. Understandable, but not very proper either. I was angry at him. I yelled at him that he was the one who made me do it. We shouted things at each other that we never meant. Since the fight, he's not uttered a single word to me, even when I offered to sit down and explain myself so many times. He just wouldn't listen. I thought that would be how it went today too. But then this morning he told me that he wants me to move out and that it's the least I could do, that he can't handle being here with me. He said that he keeps imagining me with my affair partner in our bed and on our furniture. I feel so guilty. I know this is causing him so much emotional pain, but I know that moving out is the last thing that will help us. I begged him to let me stay so that we can talk and at least express our feelings better once he feels ready to do so. He still insists on at least me staying in a hotel for the next couple of days, but I think this will not fix anything whatsoever. I guess I'm wondering if anyone has come back from this. Were you really able to convince your betrayed spouse who's stonewalling you to let you in? I really would love to just go back to how things were before my affair was discovered. What should I do? Update. My D-Day is still very fresh. I am the wayward spouse and I was caught on bed with my AP by my husband. I am filled with remorse, shame, and guilt for hurting my husband. Yesterday, my husband sat me down. I was happy because I thought he was finally ready to talk, but he gave me a key and said he has paid the first month rent for an apartment. I thought he was moving out, but he said I'm the one going. He never even told me until he dropped by the house unannounced to pick up some of his things. He's been staying with his brother. Usually I'm at my part-time job at the time that he came by, so I think he was hoping that I wasn't home. He was very short with me and would barely look me in the eyes. I don't even know where this new place even is. I asked him sometime to pack my things and arrange for the moving, and he just nodded. I'm falling apart. I love our house. I decorated the interior inch by myself. I do not want to leave. I hate myself for what I did and for letting it go on for so long. Why couldn't I have just ended things before he found out? Why did I have to have an affair at all? I haven't even been able to apologize to him properly since we were both very upset and crying before he left. It looks like reconciliation is off the table, and even though I get that, I'm really disappointed. I'm mad that all our good memories are going to be tarnished and that nothing I say will make a difference. I'm terribly sorry for everything, but I have to deal with what I've done. I'm really devastated and just wish I could go back and change things. Story 2. Wife 28 of one night stand. I feel like I am dying inside. I've barely slept since Friday, and the last time I ate was Sunday morning. I feel sick to the stomach and numb. These have easily been the worst few days of my life, combined with this being the worst year of my life. D-Day was on Sunday, and I've more or less just been staring off into space, crying, or looking at this sub since then. I was out of town this weekend, and my wife of 4 years went clubbing with one of her friends. She got drunk and went to an acquaintance's house. This acquaintance is a friend of a friend. I was actually really anxious and worried sick that night because something felt wrong. I had been texting and calling several times throughout the night, and her text took 1 plus to come back. Eventually, I got through to her at 4 a.m. via call, and she said she got home safe, that she loved me, and was going to sleep. This was a lie. She was at his place. And right after the phone call, she went and fucked him. Then in the morning, when sober I'm assuming, she fucked him again. In the morning, I was still worried and I called and noticed, we have an app that intermittently shows location, that she was still downtown. I mentioned that it showed her as still downtown and she said that was weird because she was at home. But I thought, whatever, maybe it was a bug. So I accepted it and we continued the conversation and day normally. Later that day, we talked via video chat and she confessed and said she slept with him. She was actually the one who wanted to video chat and tell me about it. She seemed actually remorseful and was crying. To be honest, I still am not sure if she confessed because I was suspicious and saw the location. I called her every name in the book, yelled at her and everything. I asked if she was drunk and she said yes. Until last night, I was just so numb, shocked, and confused that I had no idea what to do and wasn't thinking clearly enough to even know if I wanted to even give it a shot. In the past, I had promised myself that this ever happened, I would end things immediately and without question. We reconciled and she said she is willing to not go clubbing and to stop drinking. She is willing to do counseling with me and to read the books that you guys talk about on the sub. I can't get the images and thoughts of her lying to me on the phone, that she was safe at home, and that she loved me then, minutes after getting railed by the guy, then having it happen again in the morning when she was probably sober. I am still so angry and so bitter. I've had thoughts of vengeance by fucking some random girl, but have resisted it. She had and has no contact with the acquaintance, and I am quite sure of it. She claims this hasn't happened before, and I believe her 75%. I'm just so angry still, and I don't know if she did this all with the intention of not getting caught and then only told me because I was suspicious. She said she was drunk, but yet she had sex again with him in the morning. I'm just so lost and so in pain. I feel like I will never see her the same and never trust her like I did before. My world is crumbling, and I'm just so furious. I can't get the images of what might have happened with him out of my head. We love each other very much, and there were no issues with the relationship before, except save for moderately decreased sex in the past few months. She regrets it and is willing to work on whatever I want her to and says that it won't happen again. Will things ever be the same? Will I ever trust her again? Did I make the right decision by letting her have another chance? Did I sweep things under the rug and forgive her too easily? I want so much to believe her and give it a shot, but it still hurts so much, and I'm still so incredibly angry and depressed. I'm just sitting around doing nothing and crying. Update. Hi all. Recently been wondering if my wayward spouse has been doing enough. She had a drunk one-night stand when I was out of town about 3 months ago and confessed quickly after. She has no contact with AP, and I can verify this. We are in couples therapy. She has willingly stopped going clubbing. What led to the one-night stand? I also have all passwords of all accounts. We also share location information via an app. I was actually feeling pretty good a few weeks ago, but last week and this week, I've been feeling like shit again and unable to block out the mind movies. Currently, there still feels like something is missing to me. There is a sense that she has already moved on from this, that she doesn't know or understand the pain I'm still feeling every day. I feel like she wonders why I'm still traumatized. I feel like somehow she doesn't seem remorseful or sorry enough. Sometimes I'm unsure about how sorry she is, but I don't know if it's my mind just playing tricks on me, that she just wants us to get past this. When we talk about it, sometimes I can sense frustration from her. However, despite all this, I am unable to pinpoint what I want from her exactly. unable to pinpoint what she could do that could help me feel better, or if that something even exists. All of this makes me anxious that nothing has changed about her and that she will cheat on me again one day in another one-night stand. I don't know if my emotions are just pushing me into angry and depressive cycles, preventing me from being satisfied with what she's done. Anybody have any insight on this? Final update. 8 months post-drunken one-night stand by my WS. Lately, I feel like I've been a little less angry and thinking about things a little less frequently. I still think about it daily and am quite angry, but the severity and frequency is much less than before. However, a part of me keeps seeming to semi-intentionally remind myself of it. Like if I were to stop thinking about it or stop reminding myself I am somehow making what she did okay, that I am not punishing her enough for it, that I am making what she did okay. So in these moments, I seem to try to make myself think about it so that it's not like I'm letting it go too easily. I sort of not want to have to do that, but I feel compelled to. Am I even making sense? Does anyone know what I'm trying to say? What should I do about it? It's completely understandable to feel the way you do. After such a betrayal, it's normal to want to hold on to the anger and pain as a way to ensure that you're not minimizing what happened. You might feel that if you let go of these feelings, you're somehow making it seem like what she did was acceptable or that you're not punishing her enough. However, it's important to recognize that holding on to these negative emotions primarily affects you. Letting go of the anger and pain doesn't mean you're condoning her actions or that you've forgiven her. It simply means you're choosing to prioritize your own mental health and well-being. Try to reframe your thinking. Letting go can be seen as a way to reclaim your life and move forward. You don't have to forget what happened, but you don't need to let it dominate your thoughts and emotions either. Also, avoid taking any responsibility for her actions. Her choices are hers alone. If with time you still haven't forgiven and moved on, consider divorce. Life is too short to live stewing in bitterness.